a holy in my soul. Now is whole until the Super Bowl.
Hey YouTube, you're watching week 3 of Let's Have Some Football. Now, in the first part of the episode, we like to talk about the previous week. There were some pretty interesting games. The only game I actually watched the whole week last week was the Chiefs and the Chiefs and Chargers game. This was the Kansas City Chiefs home opener, and we talked about that game a little bit last week, so I don't want to keep talking about the Chiefs in that game. But there were some really interesting games this weekend. Here's some of the games that really was surprising to me. Baltimore losing at Miami. Baltimore, I think, had like a 20-some point lead in that game in the second half, and Tua brings the Miami Dolphins back to win. Unbelievable. Had 6 touchdowns passing. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle had monster games. That was the big question, is what going into this year, I thought, was, can Tua run that offense with these incredible weapons? And boy, did he answer that question this week. Unbelievable performance out there by Miami as they come back and beat Baltimore. Some of the other interesting games. So that was actually a game in my picks that I lost. I actually did pretty decent. Overall, I went 3-2 if you count my Survivor game. So I picked Baltimore, and Miami pulled the shocker and won that. So that was one of the games I picked that I lost. In the Tampa Bay New Orleans game, I picked Tampa Bay to win. They did win. No real surprise there. On Monday night, I picked Philadelphia to beat Minnesota, and the Eagles did. The Eagles looking very strong. Definitely one of the power teams this year. And another game that I picked correctly was Green Bay beating Chicago. And that was a pretty easy game to pick, really. You knew Aaron Rodgers was not going to start off 0-2 at home. So Green Bay kind of rebounds from their really bad first game. They're now 1-1. And in the Survivor tournament, it's over. Our Survivor tournament performances have been terrible. We played it 2 times now in 2 weeks. These contests are supposed to go on for, most of the season. But we had 4 people playing the first week. Me and 3 other YouTube viewers, and I won the first one. I was the only team to pick a correct team, and everybody else lost, so it was already over after week 1. So I decided we'd do a reboot, and this time only one other person decided to play the Survivor game with me. So thank you, Winto, for playing with me. And Winto beat me because I picked the Cincinnati stupid Bengals, who lost at Dallas. This is a Dallas Cowboys team that's really bad. They don't even have Dak Prescott right now. And Cincinnati has to be in the top 3 most disappointing teams this year. Wow. I don't understand what happened to that team. They were in the Super Bowl last year, but I guess it's the Super Bowl hangover, because they are not the same. They were a really good offensive team last year, and now they're really struggling offensive. And Winto, he picked the Detroit Lions to beat Washington, and that came true. So Winto wins. I'm trying to get contact information from Winto. By the way, if you're watching this, Winto, I'm going to write down my email address. I think YouTube might block messages that have email addresses, but that's for Winto. All right. So, yeah, hit me up, Winto. I'm going to know if it's you or not. So, congratulations. You won fair and square. Okay, so this week. This week has already gotten kicked off. Last night, the Browns really surprisingly beat the Steelers, and they beat them rather handily by 12 points. So the Browns are actually 2-1, and this is without Deshaun Watson. So the Browns might be a dangerous team in the AFC this year once they get everybody back, and if Deshaun stays out of the massage parlors, of course. All right, so this week I have I'm going to pick 4 games. I'm not going to reboot the Survivor League thing because only one other person wanted to play, so not going to reboot it. So I'm just going to pick the 4 games. So this week I am going to pick. I'll pick 3 games and then I'll pick a Chiefs game. So in the first game I'm going to pick out is the Bills at Miami Dolphins. This is going to be a good game. Really very interested to see if Tua has he figured out the offense there and is about to go on a tear this year. So many weapons, so dangerous. The Bills, I think the Bills are the best team in the NFL right now. Even though I'm a Chiefs fan, the Bills are looking like a big problem for the AFC. This is a beastly team. Josh Allen, he's developed into just such a great quarterback. But they will have their hands full with Tua and Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. So that's going to be a very exciting game. I actually am going to pick the Bills to win that game. Both those teams are 2-0, by the way. All right, the next game I'm going to pick is Philadelphia at Washington. Philadelphia 2-0, Washington 1-1. And I just don't have a good feeling about Washington. They did win their first game, but then they lost to Detroit. And Philadelphia looks like a very strong team. Jalen Hurts doing what Jalen Hurts does. Philadelphia is going to win at Washington, and they will go to 3-0, I think. All right. The third game I'm picking is Green Bay, who's 1-1 at Tampa Bay, 2-0. I just think Tom Brady is just too crafty. He's not going to lose to Aaron Rodgers at home. Aaron Rodgers, they did good last week at home, but they were terrible on the road the first game. So I am going with Tampa Bay to defeat Green Bay. And the Chiefs game. So I'm always going to pick the Chiefs game unless they play on Thursday. So this is the Chiefs 2-0 at Indianapolis, who, probably they may even be more of a disappointment this year than Cincinnati. Indianapolis is 0-1-1. They tied with Houston, and then they got shut out by Jacksonville. Ouch. Yeah, Indianapolis, what happened there? Just, yeah. There's a lot of head scratching going on right now in Indianapolis. And since they're in such disarray and really having some problems offensively, I am going to pick my Chiefs to win on the road at Indianapolis. I'll be watching that game on Sunday and be yelling at the TV, I'm sure, yelling at our receivers probably of getting open and making plays. And we'll see. The offense looked amazing week 1. Looked very mediocre week 2, which they were at home. And honestly, the only reason they beat the Chargers was that one pick six play where San Diego was about to score, but Jalen Watson, I think is his name. Jalen Watson, rookie, picks off Justin Herbert in the end zone and goes all the way for the pick six. That won the game last week. This week, I think the Chiefs are going to be more balanced. I think that the defense is going to continue to progress. They got a lot of young players, so I think they'll get better and just a little bit better each week. And the offense, I think, is somewhere in the middle. I think they're not as strong as they looked week one. I don't think they're as weak as they were in week two. So I think they're going to, they're going to look pretty good, but not as good as week one. But it's going to be plenty to beat Indianapolis, who's really struggling right now. So I'm picking the Chiefs to win their game. And again, no Survivor picks. But if I was doing a Survivor League pick, I don't know. I don't have the rest of the schedule up here looking at it. But I would be tempted to pick the Bills, but man, I don't know if I'd do it for a Survivor week because Tua burned me last week on a Survivor game. He could definitely do it again. Man. No, that actually wasn't a Survivor game that I lost. Cincinnati screwed me on the Survivor game. I would probably, if I was picking a Survivor game, I'd probably pick Baltimore to bounce back whoever they're playing against because I think they're plenty ticked off. Not a very happy camper right there by letting Miami back in that game and exposing their defense and giving up all those points in the second half. So I'd probably pick Baltimore as a Survivor pick this week. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let's have some football.